Hello everybody, welcome to the channel. This is my first IRL video, I guess. Got a project I want to do today, building a Christmas present for someone special. That's about all I'm going to say about that, but the project is we're going to build like a two-tone cross. It's going to consist of some maple and red oak. I'll show you that here. So I've got a 1x2 4-foot piece of maple and a 2x2 3-foot chunk of oak. I plan on staining it 2 different colors. We got a cherry stain here and also a dark walnut. Thinking I'll probably do the vertical part of the cross walnut and then the horizontal part cherry. One of the tools we'll be using today is a jigsaw. So my plan is to kind of like turn this on its side. It's of course a square, so it doesn't really matter what side I flip to, and then cut out kind of like a section of that, and then this piece will lay flat in there across that so that it kind of is together, and then I will screw it in from the back side so that the screws are hidden away. So I've got this piece of, I don't know what you want to call it, metal bar here. It's about, I don't know, 1/8 inch round. It's pretty sturdy though. My plan for that is to put it into the bottom of the cross there so that this can stand in the ground. We got some caulking. I think I will probably use the caulking to seal up that hole when I put that stake into the wood there. Make sure no moisture can get into it. So we're gonna go ahead and cut this off. It is a little long. I'm thinking I'm probably gonna try and get about 1 foot into the ground. Get much less than that and it might not be very stable. So we were only able to get about 4 inches into that board there. So we're gonna have about 16 inches total on that piece of iron. So we'll cut that off now. Quick safety tip, remember your safety glasses. They may not look cool, but if you don't have your vision, you're gonna tell how you look anyways, so let's get into it. I am gonna go ahead and grind a point onto that tip there, just to make it easier to push in the ground is all. Thinking we're probably gonna go with say about 20 inches for the vertical part of the cross and 16 just looks nice to me. There's probably a ratio out there for cross making, but we're just gonna go with that. So get started, make a couple cuts here. You could probably use a circular saw if you got one. If you had to use a jigsaw, you could use a jigsaw. We're gonna use the miter saw just because that's easier. Got the piece of oak ready, and once again, we're cutting this at 20 inches. So I got this piece of oak in the vise here. We're gonna go ahead and drill the hole for that piece of iron. There we go. So this next part is probably going to be the most challenging. We're going to cut that notch out so that this will sit down inside of this so it's flush. So I put a mark at 7.5 inches on the cross section there, and then I'm going to put a mark there so I can line the two marks up, and then it'll be centered exactly. So since this piece of oak says it's a 2x2, it's not actually a 2x2. It's 1.5 inches across, so we put our mark at 3/4 of an inch there, and we will line up the two. Alright, so I forgot to mention something crucial. The measurement down from the top of the cross, the vertical board, is roughly 6 5/8 down. You could really make this whatever you wanted it to be. Alright, so now we're going to turn that board on its edge there so we can get the depth that we're going to cut into there with the jigsaw. And we're going to go ahead and transfer those lines over. So this is kind of what we got going on here. So our plan is to cut out this section. So we're going to run the jigsaw like this, cut through this part. Hopefully we'll be able to make an angle cut, get into this corner, come across, cut across here. That'll be cut out. Then take the jigsaw and come back this way and cut out to there. So we'll see how it goes. Well, it's not absolutely perfect, but I'll do a little bit of sanding in that notch and we'll get it laying flat. So I'll be back in a little bit. Alright, so I just took this file, kind of notched away in there, made it fit a little better. Not perfect, of course, but it doesn't have to be. It's pretty dang close. And of course, we're going to put some screws in the back of it. So I think that is the next step. So I've got some 1.25 Torx here. Go ahead, we're going to pre-drill holes for these, and then we're also going to inset them just a little bit. What I mean by that is we're going to take a drill bit the size of the head of this and drill a hole in there so that it'll sit flush in the wood instead of sticking out a little bit. I'm going with a 7/64 bit. Make sure and take your time doing this because you can easily snap a bit going into this hardwood. Didn't let me just a little bit. I think we'll be okay though. I will a little bit play with it when I pick it up, but not a lot. That should be plenty deep for those holes. So we were going to inset those just a hair. Drill bits. Let's see what do we got for that head there. We're really gonna have to use a 5/16. Looks like it'll take 5/16 to inset those Torx heads on there. Don't have to get real aggressive with that. That's about all you need. We'll clean that up. I might just hit that with some sandpaper right now. We don't want to over tighten them, so we're gonna go ahead, take a look on there. Looks pretty decent. Go ahead and get that other one in here. And we are in. Alright, so instead of staining this all together, I think I'm going to just take the screws out and then we'll get that rod inserted and we'll use that to help hold while we stain it. Alright, got the rod in there. We'll go ahead and start staining. I would recommend some gloves for this part, some cheap plastic ones if you got them. If you're like me, you're gonna get stain on your hands one way or another. Also, if you got a foam brush, that's usually the way I go. I do not have one at this time, so I'm just gonna use paper towels, and that'll do just fine too. All right, we'll go ahead and stain this vertical one here first. Wow. We'll find a place to let this dry, and we'll come back and hit the maple one with some cherry. We will let this dry and then we'll be back. So I decided instead to get this screwed together. That way it can dry in all in one piece. So that's as far as we can go with the cross till it dries. I guess we'll be back once it dries. Turned out pretty good. We'll be using a Minwax indoor outdoor clear semi-gloss urethane. Should be good. Should last quite a long time. One tip is you want to make sure you shake up your stuff real good. If you don't, might not work the best. We're gonna go ahead and hit it again, so it doesn't say how quick you can, just says to apply thin coats. All right, then another 15 minutes. We're gonna go ahead and hit it with one more coat, and we'll call that good. Well, there is our finished product. I hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. And Merry Christmas to everybody. I'm sure this won't be posted till after Christmas, but Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.